When Katherine Chancellor walked up those stairs on May 3rd, 2013, Y&R fans didn't know that was the last time we were going to see her. Jill offered to help her upstairs. Katherine refused. She climbed those stairs herself, turned back around toward Jill, and said simply, "Good night." And that was it. After everything those two women had been through together, Philip, the affair, the car crash, the rivalry, the mansion, the belief that they were mother and daughter, and then the discovery that they were not. Katherine and Jill had spent nearly 40 years loving each other and making each other miserable. And the final word between them was good night. 5 days after that episode aired, Jeanne Cooper died. But Katherine Chancellor was still very much alive inside the Y&R story. So Y&R had this very difficult question to answer. How do you bury the first truly foundational first year icon that the show had lost? So how did Jeanne Cooper die? Jeanne Cooper died on May 8th, 2013, and she was 84 years old. Her son, Corbin Burnson, said that she died peacefully after having been hospitalized while battling an infection. And she also was suffering from COPD. Jeanne Cooper had played Katherine Chancellor since Y&R's very first season. Katherine arrived in 1974 as a wealthy but lonely woman whose marriage to Philip Chancellor II was falling apart. She was drinking. She was insecure. And she decided to hire a young Jill Foster to become her paid companion. That worked out well. Jill moved into the Chancellor Mansion, fell in love with Philip, got pregnant, and helped launch one of the greatest rivalries, not only in The Young and the Restless history, but in all of soap history. Over the years, Katherine survived alcoholism, multiple marriages, a look-alike named Marge being declared dead more than once, and the discovery that Tucker McCall was the child she had given away, which is what made Devon Hamilton her grandson. She became Nikki's mentor, Victor's friend, Jill's greatest enemy, and the grande dame of Genoa City. By May of 2013, Jeanne Cooper's last episode had already aired, but Katherine's character on the show had recently survived a brain tumor. She had recovered. She had come home, and she and her husband Murphy left Genoa City to take a trip of a lifetime, which is what gave Y&R a way to keep Katherine alive just a little bit longer. So how did Katherine Chancellor die on The Young and the Restless? Katherine died in her sleep on August 1st, 2013, while traveling with her husband, Murphy. But Genoa City didn't know that yet. Katherine and Murphy were supposedly out there in the world working their way through their bucket list, and they were sending postcards back home. And the postcards just kept coming. Every postcard made it feel like Katherine was still somewhere out there in the world, traveling and making plans and telling everyone what to do. Very Katherine. The postcards instructed her friends and family to gather together at the Chancellor Mansion on August 16th. Now, everyone thought that Katherine would be coming home, that maybe she was just planning some giant surprise, and in a way, she was. Murphy arrived at the Chancellor Mansion alone, and he told everyone the good news that Katherine had reconnected with her son Tucker during their trip. But then, after that reunion, Katherine had died peacefully and in her sleep. It was a shock to everyone in Genoa City. The postcards had made it feel like Katherine was still alive, still out there, just beyond the edge of Genoa City. And suddenly, she wasn't coming home ever again. When Katherine Chancellor died, Jill lost the woman who had shaped her entire adult life. Nikki had lost her friend, mentor, and mother figure. Devon lost his grandmother. Kane lost the woman who believed that he belonged inside the Chancellor legacy, even though he wasn't biologically family. Victor had lost one of the few people in Genoa City who he truly considered an equal. Katherine's funeral episodes aired on September 3rd and 4th, 2013. And of course, Katherine left instructions. She wanted a party instead of a funeral. And that celebration was held at Lake Delaney in a brand new park that was being dedicated in her name, Chancellor Park. So Jill and Nikki arranged this beautiful celebration of her life. Her family gathered together, old friends gathered together. Brock came home to say goodbye to his mother. Christine, Nina, Gina, and Amber all returned for Katherine's memorial episodes. And Danny came back to perform That's When I'll Stop Loving You, which is the same song Y&R used in their tribute to Jeanne Cooper. And Jeanne Cooper's real-life son, Corbin Burnson, returned as Father Todd Williams and presided over Katherine's memorial service. And Katherine even managed to produce one more wedding. Her letters to Paul were encouraging him to finally propose to Christine And so they got married right there in Chancellor Park. And after Katherine's memorial, Y&R did something a little spooky. One day, Jill and Nikki were talking about Katherine and the final missions that she had left for them. And suddenly, there she was. Katherine appeared before them, surrounded by white light and smiling that beautiful smile. And both women could see her at the same time. Katherine didn't speak. She didn't interact with them. She was just there. Like Katherine's spirit had come back to see Jill and Nikki one last time. And then she disappeared. But even from beyond the grave, Katherine Chancellor was not finished with Jill. Katherine's will was very Katherine. It was just manipulative enough to keep everybody busy. Devon inherited the bulk of her personal fortune, which was nearly $2.5 billion. So how much money did Devon inherit from Katherine? Billions! With a B! Esther received $20,000 a month for as long as she agreed to remain on staff at the Chancellor Mansion. Classic Katherine, controlling someone's employment from beyond the grave. Kane was instructed to remain the sole CEO of Chancellor Industries. But who inherited Chancellor Industries? Jill, surely. But no. Victor received ownership of the company while Kane was supposed to continue running it. That fact would keep Chancellor Industries inside of Genoa City's corporate wars for years to come. But Katherine saved her most personal mystery for Jill. Jill inherited Katherine's portion of the Chancellor Mansion, but she also inherited a red music box. Katherine's most prized possession. Jill was like, a music box? That's what I get? After all these years? But Katherine knew Jill and knew that she would never leave a mystery alone. The music box contained a key, and the key led to a safe deposit box, and the safe deposit box contained a letter from Katherine and a ring from Philip. Katherine also left clues that eventually led Jill to hidden jewelry inside the Chancellor Mansion. So, even after her death, Katherine was still sending Jill through the house looking for answers, making her work for it. But it also finally connected Jill back to Philip and back to the history that these two women had shared. Katherine's final storyline continued long after Katherine was gone. Katherine's death did not erase her from The Young and the Restless. Her name is still everywhere. Chancellor Industries remains one of the most important companies in Genoa City. Characters still fight over who should own it, who should run it, and what Katherine would have wanted. The Chancellor Mansion remains tied to Jill and to the family history. There's a Chancellor Park. There's a Chancellor Park Cafe. We see the name Chancellor on the sign in the park and on the cafe cups. There was even a ridiculous sculpture that Jill had installed in Chancellor Park. Katherine became a literal part of the architecture of Genoa City. Her decisions changed Devon's life. Her company continued driving the story. Her spirit became a guiding light for Nikki and Victor and Esther and Jill. Some good memories and some not so good. It was the end of an era when we lost her. But Katherine Chancellor's legacy is still with us every day. And that's really important because soap operas get to do something that other television shows cannot do. Y&R built a world over the course of decades. And even now, the Katherine Chancellor name still lives on, absolutely, long after her death. Katherine Chancellor left the screen, but her presence never truly left Genoa City. Okay, Y&R fans. Now, I would love to hear from you. Let's turn this comment section into a Y&R fan memorial for Katherine Chancellor and Jeanne Cooper. Why don't you tell me your favorite Katherine Chancellor memory? Maybe it's a scene, maybe it's a whole storyline, maybe it was a relationship, or just a moment, one moment that you remember that made you laugh or made you cry. Whatever comes to mind when you think of Katherine Chancellor, leave me those thoughts in the comments so that we can remember her and appreciate her and love her together.